Look, I think for Donald Trump, you said it, Michael. He does not want this release, likely because of what's in it, whether that is because Donald Trump's in it or close associates or Donald Trump are in it. What we do know is that it relates to real victims, minors who were victims of sex trafficking at the hands of very wealthy men that were above accountability. And so whether that personally touches on Donald Trump or his associates, it's a narrative certainly that becomes hard for Donald Trump to speak about every day, particularly because we know there's evidence of his personal relationship with Epstein himself. And so, look, is it right? Do the American people deserve to have more information? Yes, I'm sure they do. What type of information? Ultimately, I think there are a lot of sensitivities around that. But I do know why Donald Trump wants to get off this topic as well, not just because of how it will force him into a corner and what he has to defend, but they are way off message. Look, you mentioned it, Michael. I'm in the middle of a campaign right now. I wake up every day talking about the affordability crisis, about the cost of insurance, about the taxes for first-time home buyers, about creating safe communities and fighting crime but not fighting communities, about providing multimodal transportation. Those are the answers that Democrats across the country right now are talking about in their races and in their home states. Republicans are talking about a sex crime that involves underage victims. If that is the conversation they're having with the American people right now, maybe it is the most important one. Certainly it could be, but it's not the message that Republicans want to be on right now.
I will remind us and remind our audience, Trump has denied any wrongdoing here. Here's where I think what David Jolly is saying about the affordability crisis and where people should be focused, and this is, which is for MAGA, this was about the fact that there were insiders so deep inside the U.S. government that they were willing to hide any secrets in order to protect their own power. The fact that Donald Trump had been one of those insiders, had in fact been the president of the United States, did not stop him from then repositioning himself once again as an outsider. So what I think is new here is the way that Democrats are seeing an opportunity for themselves to say, you know what? Let's dig a little bit deeper and ask who really has the power in Washington. Take a listen to what Senators Ruben Gallego and Jon Ossoff are saying out there on the trail.
And what we've seen so far is this president will always take care of his elite friends, whether it's pardons for his rich friends, whether it's tax cuts for the rich, and now making sure he's covering up the client list of Jeffrey Epstein.
You're seeing a lot of disappointment and consternation among the president's base, not just because of this Epstein matter, but because this is an administration that is passing legislation to support the elite and the wealthy, and that is failing to make good on a whole lot of its commitments.
Ding, ding, ding. Connect all the dots.
It's a
which
very
is,
good combo.
here you are. You have sold us Republicans on this idea that you are anti-elite. And the first major piece of legislation that you pass, who does it benefit? The elites.
Yes. Well, right. Message isn't one thing, what you're hitting on, and it's a beautiful thing. Message isn't one thing, that right? It is an umbrella of things, and you need proof points underneath it. So what Democrats want to sell to the Congressman's point is affordability and who Republicans are looking out for. Like Republicans are looking out for protecting sort of the wealthy and the powerful. This is a proof point to that, along with the legislation that has passed. That look, these are rich, powerful men who are not going to be held accountable because Donald Trump is looking out for them. So proof point, proof point, proof point, proof point. And at some point, does it break through to the American public, right? Message isn't one thing. It's multiple things building up underneath one thing. And this, I think, is why Democrats are actually harking on it, because it does reinforce the overarching point that this is an administration and these are Republicans who are not looking out for you little people, but looking out and protecting the wealthy and the powerful.
David, you have a Quinnipiac poll out right now, just going to the heart of what's happening inside the GOP, asking the question, do you approve or disapprove of the way Trump is handling the Jeffrey Epstein files? 40% approve, 36% disapprove, 24% I don't know. Okay,
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. I know. I was going to say that's what I said. Okay, because if you got that, tells you a lot about where this storyline is, particularly where the fault lines are right now. And so, how do you see, with the speaker out there saying, "Let's show the documents"? You have other Republicans in the House and Senate, making that noise. Certainly, the base is there, and these numbers reflect that fracture. What's the game plan here for the party, irrespective of elections? I mean, heck, they just got to get through the rest of the summer.
Yeah. Michael, I'm afraid we're going to see a real Washington inside job that figures out how to make this go away, and MAGA is going to circle the wagons and ultimately start repeating whatever that justification is. As I said, it could be reopen the investigation for 3 years to get Donald Trump out of office. It could just be saying there absolutely is no file. We've been assured of that and close ranks here. I think what is so hard, though, is, again, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if all those MAGA influencers are upset about being lied to or upset they can't see the files, because I don't think they would be upset if indeed the former the sitting president was in it. We haven't seen that break in loyalty when it comes to facts. But I do think the broader issue here where Republicans are in trouble, and this goes to Cornell's point about a proof point. Republicans and Donald Trump were either lying to you then or they're lying to you now. And that's easily understood, right? Lying is easily understood. So they were either lying to you when they were stoking this conspiracy theory or fact that there were files to be released, or they're lying to you now that there aren't files to be released. Lying is very well understood among voters, Republican voters and Democratic voters alike. And I think this is why this episode is so piercing for Donald Trump and for Republicans writ large. It's clear they've been lying. It doesn't matter if they were lying 6 months ago or they're lying today. They've been lying to us.